The Boston Celtics made a statement in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Kristaps Porzingis had something to say about the narrative that this is Kyrie's revenge tour in Boston, as Porzingis was the tone setter for the game as soon as he entered. The Celtics let the Mavericks back in the game due to their reliance on the three, but let's start in the first quarter in my Game 1 recap of the 2024 NBA Finals. In the first quarter, the Mavericks went to zone quick in the game as they knew they couldn't match up well 1 through 5. This allowed the Celtics to shoot as many threes as possible in the half court, which benefits their play style. Luckily for the Mavs, they weren't hitting initially. After substitutions, the Mavericks would go away from the zone, but the Celtics offense would soon pick up. The Celtics defensive matchups weren't the ones I recommended, as I would have put Jrue on Luka, but it worked out well in the first quarter. But obviously the first thing and most important thing we have to discuss is how good Porzingis looked early on in the game. In the first quarter, his presence was felt on both ends as the Mavericks struggled to score around him in the interior, showing his elite rim protection, and offensively he was feeling it after he took his first trip to the free throw line. And his shooting expanded well past the three-point line. He sparked the Celtics three-point shooting as a team as they went on a 23-5 run to close the quarter, up 17. The Mavericks seemed a little rattled after the first quarter as they were missing shots that they normally make, and some open shots at that. The crowd definitely factored into that, but they were clearly nervous after dealing with the three-point onslaught. Neither Kyrie nor Luka could get it going early, and none of the usuals for the Mavericks could spark anything either. I mean, former Maverick Kristaps Porzingis was going off still after he checked back in and lived at the high post, which allowed Boston to expand their lead drastically. However, Luka Doncic went on a mini run to end the half to keep the game somewhat manageable at halftime. The third quarter started, and Kyrie Irving was still unable to get any type of rhythm to start the second half, continuing to miss his normal shots, and he even dribbled off his foot, which was something you just don't see from him. The Celtics started the second half hoisting threes, making their offense stagnant to begin, as they were not making any of them. And then PJ Washington and the Mavericks looked to exploit his matchup of Derek White. And while looking to exploit Derek White, the threes stopped falling for Boston, allowing Dallas to go on their own run as they finally got it together and got stops on the stagnant offense for Boston. Boston would then call a timeout after the lead was cut to 8, and they went with my matchups that I suggested, putting Jrue on Luka and Brown on Kyrie. This caused disruption in Dallas's rhythm, allowing Boston to extend the lead back to double digits. But the real reason Boston was able to stop Dallas's rhythm was because they began aggressively attacking the rim, allowing them to get to the line and get easy looks. Jaylen Brown carried on what Porzingis started in the first half in the second with elite two-way play and ultimately propelled Boston to remaining comfortable heading into the fourth with a 20-point lead. The fourth quarter was not anything you need to hear about, so here are my closing statements. Ultimately, the difference in this game was Kristaps Porzingis' early spark, as he allowed the Celtics to blitz the Mavericks to take Game 1, despite a little hiccup in the third quarter. The Mavericks were clearly bothered by Porzingis in the interior as they kept shying away from the paint when they saw him in the rear view, and it made them pass up shots up close due to the fear of getting blocked. Luckily for Dallas, the more you play against someone with the size of Porzingis, you start getting more comfortable around that player and playing against that player. So I'm not worried about that. My worry for Dallas comes from the inability to defend Boston 1 through 5 because golly, they're getting cooked in every spot. But you knew Boston was going to take Game 1. I believe Dallas will come out on a mission in Game 2. However, none of that matters if they cannot learn how to shoot free throws because they were abysmal at the free throw line again, and that was one of the biggest X factors I had. I predicted the Mavericks to win in 6 games. This isn't the first Game 1 they've lost. It's not the first time they've been down 20 points in a Game 1. So I'm not really too worried at this moment in time because Boston blitzed them. They weren't ready for it. They just got to get comfortable playing against the Celtics, like they got comfortable playing against the Thunder and Clippers and Timberwolves. But the Celtics are a way better team than they've played, but ultimately, the Celtics just aren't good under pressure, and the pressure is going to be put on them for the rest of the series, as the Mavericks are going to look to take a lead early in Game 2 and continue to fire away and combat the Celtics' offense and defense. But the Celtics, when they're not focused on shooting threes, if the Celtics don't become heavily reliant on shooting threes like they've shown and like they were in this game, causing them to have a drop-off and allowing Dallas to get back in the game, Celtics will be fine in this series as someone that just does not want to see the Celtics win. But Luka Doncic is the best player in the series. He had a 30-point double-double tonight, and Kyrie Irving didn't have anything going tonight. I don't expect Kyrie to continue that. He was just really off, and I would appreciate the F Kyrie chance to stop in Boston because just disrespecting them, and it's not cool. I don't like it. But I also understand why you're saying it. Looking at the box score, we start on the Mavericks side. PJ Washington, 5 of 11, 0 of 3 from 3. Got to start hitting his threes if they want to win this series. 14 points, 8 rebounds, not terrible. Derrick Jones Jr., 2 of 9. He hit the first shot he took of the game. I thought we were going to see a Linsanity game from him, but we did not. 2 of 9, not ideal. 5 points. One of the players that struggled with Porzingis being in the game. Daniel Gafford, 8 points. The lob was not there at all for him or Lively tonight, and the Celtics did a great job neutralizing that. Celtics did a great job neutralizing the assists too. I mean, Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving combined for 3 assists. Luka averages 10 at times, and yeah, Kyrie averages close to 6, maybe 7. Who knows? Specifically, who knows? But obviously, the Celtics did a great job limiting how much damage the other players could do, and that limited the assist. Kyrie Irving only had 12 points, though. He's got to increase that if the Mavericks want to win. Luka, 30 and 10. We already talked about that. Maxi Kleber, 2 points off the bench. He needs to stop passing up so many open looks because that's going to hurt the Mavericks going forward, especially since he's considered a good shooter. But if you're not going to shoot the ball, then, well, I don't know what to tell you. Jaden Hardy had 13 points. I don't know how much of that's during junk time, though, so I'm not going to look too much into that. Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum, 6 of 16 for 16 points. 6 turnovers. Well, luckily, Kristaps Porzingis dropped 20 because Jason Tatum would be getting grilled. Jaylen Brown, 22 points, 7 of 12 shooting, 6 rebounds. Jaylen Brown, player of the game probably, unless Porzingis was it's between one of those two. I personally think Jaylen Brown because Jaylen Brown's the one that sealed it. But without Porzingis doing what he did in his 21 minutes, it was special to watch. I don't know. I don't really know who to pick as a player of the game. Second half, it was Jaylen Brown. First half, it was Porzingis. But Porzingis kind of sparked the momentum. So we'll give it to Porzingis in today's video. Sam Hauser had a good game off the bench. He actually got some stops on Luka. Al Horford, 10 points. Drew Holiday, 12 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Good game from Drew, plus 20. Had the best plus-minus in the game. And then Derek White, 15 points, hit 3 of 8 from 3, 5 assists. So yeah, overall good game for the Celtics. One player I could only critique one player negatively. And because the Celtics won, I'm not going to do that. But 6 of 16, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, and 6 turnovers. I better not be seeing any TikToks about Jason Tatum in this game. Yeah, y'all have a good one. Stay safe. Bye.